Hey garden friends, it's been a while. I've been a little sick, so I haven't done much in the garden or on the channel, so I thought I would just take you around my garden as I'm doing stuff today for like a little vlog type of content. Just tell you what I'm doing, what's going on. It is the very last day of November today. It's about to be December. It is pretty warm, as you may be able to see. I am wearing short sleeves, so it is not cold at all, which is good. That's exactly what I like about Texas.
Hey, Sylvia from the future here. When I recorded this intro, I didn't know what I was going to do in the video, but now the future me knows what I did. So I'm going to let you know just in case you want to know, to find out if you want to continue watching the video, which I hope you do. So what's going to happen in this video is I'm going to cover ripening tomatoes in winter in Texas, and also overwintering peppers. I'm also going to have an epic standoff with nature. In the meantime, enjoy this footage of my Mexican salvia, the purple one, and scarlet sage, the red one.
Another thing I really love about Texas is that it is almost December and I'm still ripening my own tomatoes. Inside this puppy, I have a sun gold tomato that is really still producing and ripening things. Well, okay, to be specific, it's not still producing. It has produced tomatoes and it is now trying to ripen them. There's some babies there. I am definitely going to pick the ones that are yellow because they will ripen indoors just fine, and there is little to no difference in flavor. And by removing these fruits from the vine, I am freeing up the plant's energy to focus on ripening the remainder of the fruits. Now this variety in the back is a different one. It is strawberry something, and I'm also trying to ripen them. I got rid of all the tiny tomatoes because I know that they're not going to get bigger. So anything that's small, I got rid of it, and anything that is close to full size, I left on the vine, and I'm trying to get them to ripen just a little bit, at least to start getting yellow, because once they're yellow, you know that you can pick them off and you can take them inside and they will ripen inside and they will be delicious. But if you pick them off completely green before they even start to take on a tinge of yellow, they may not ripen. As you can see, it is not the optimal weather for the tomato, even though it's under a cover. But it is still ripening things, so I am going to let that go as long as possible. And what's that? An illegal sucker. No, you don't. No, you don't. Isn't it crazy that even though it is not the weather that this plant likes, it's still throwing out so many suckers? Oh my god. Come on. Now more than ever, it's important to free up the plant's energy to ripening the fruits that are already hanging on the branch. And I don't want to let it to, even for a moment, focus its energy on anything else than that. So it is very important to remove all those suckers. We just keep coming back. They just keep on going. Into compost you go. Bye bye. I also have a potted tomato here. This variety is called the Invincible tomato. I believe that's a hybrid. And yeah, those leaves are not looking happy, but again, trying to ripen as much as possible. That is not a happy plant. Also, it's broken in so many places. See that? I did that. Yeah. I did a whoopsie and broke off this whole branch, but again, I just want to get as many fruits as possible off of this vine. And I think it's gonna be good. I already had a few of the fruits from this vine for breakfast, so it's going pretty good. Okay, look. This is a good example. You can see side by side which tomato can be taken inside and which can't. This one's completely green. If I were to take it off and try to ripen it indoors, it may not do it. This one, however, has already started to turn yellow. It's still green compared to everything else. It's actually green, but it is more yellow than this one. So I can take this one off and try to ripen it indoors, and it will most likely do it just fine. This one may not be at that stage yet. Just like this one. This one's pretty much just white, barely even green. These, you can see they're starting to yellow on one side. They're green on the other end, but the fact that they are yellow, at least on one side, is a good sign. I am going to let it go on the branch still because we don't have any freezes forecasted, so it should be just fine to let it go for a longer time. And I can also always bring it indoors, although with how spotty these leaves are, I don't know if I want to bring that indoors even for a second. And this is my pear-shaped tomato bush. These babies are so green. They are growing very slowly. Even back in the summer, this gave me very few fruits and it grew very slowly. As you can see, this bed is not covered in the row cover, which I am about to change today. But first, I'm going to do something about the structural integrity of this bed. When I constructed it months ago, I did it the fastest, easiest way possible, and I knew that it was gonna hold. I knew it. So now that I have more time and energy, I'm going to reinforce it a little bit. It's a new day and a new hair. I did a henna treatment last night, and that's what it does to your hair. So yeah, it got way too dark last night and way too quickly, so yeah, resuming doing everything today. You actually shouldn't be putting the row cover on your plant beds too late in the day. The point of putting the row cover is that you put them on when it's still warm outside, so you want to trap the heat inside. So once it gets too cold, it's kind of pointless to be putting the row cover on top of the beds because you're just trapping the cold air. It's the same thing. So resuming today, I went ahead and put some of those brackets on like I said I would. I still have to put a bracket on this one right here, this edge. I also have to trim this basil. I really love purple basil. It makes me so... Okay, hold on. Dogs? See, they're eating grass. These are cows. Like I said in my previous video, they're not dogs, they're cows. They're just cows that look like dogs. Isn't that great? Both of them. Anyway, as I was saying, I love my purple basil. It's been holding on quite long in this season, but it's time. It's time for me to trim it back. It will still grow back because it's still warm. Just like I trimmed this basil, I trimmed it down to just the nub, and you see it's already growing back because it's just not cold enough. So I'll trim this one and it'll probably flush back up with fresh blooms. There we go, much more manageable. But even then, it's already putting out new branches. Look at this little guy. I left some of these blooms. The bees love it. There's still bees buzzing around and collecting nectar from these things. So, yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is put in rebars in all four corners, and they will form the basis upon which the PVC pipes will kind of rest. As you can see, there's currently some hoops on that bed. They are these like tiny Amazon hoops, but they're way too small. They're way too short. So as you may be able to see, that they can't support that tomato. That tomato is way too tall for it. So that's why I am replacing them with the actual sturdy PVC pipe one. What you got there? How did you get? Hey, let go. My sock. How did you get my sock? Oh no. The door to the garage is open. No, leave that alone. I have so many other actual toys. Sprinkles, go find the toy. Over there. Well, this is it. You see how much taller that is from those tiny little hoops from Amazon? Much taller and much sturdier, much thicker. By the way, this fabric that's laying here, that's more like a thick winter covering. I covered this bed with this fabric for like a couple nights when we had temperatures close to freezing a few weeks ago over here. But as you can probably tell, it doesn't really let much light in, and we want the plant to kind of still be thriving and photosynthesizing, and they need light for that, which is why this bed is covered in a more transparent roll cover, which lets light in. It lets something like 85% of the light inside, so it's working pretty well for ripening those leftover fruits on there, and that's what we're going to do here as well. The sun is setting, but it's still warm. It is the last moments of daylight. Let's do it. The roll cover comes in a big roll, so we need to cut it to size. As the last rays of sun disappear over the horizon, we are done. Now, you may wonder, why tie things instead of just using clips like everywhere else? Well, that is because I want to have quick access to what's growing inside, and I don't want to mess up my clip setup every time. So I find it much easier personally to just tie a very loose double knot and untie it every time I want to peek inside. There, we made it just in time. We locked inside the last bit of warmth, and trust me, it's still warm. I'm still wearing a t-shirt with shirt sleeves and I'm sweating a little bit, so it's not that cold. But still, better now than later. We did it. I hope that now the tomatoes will start to ripen much faster under that cover. And now it's another day. I'm trying to be a person. I'm so tired. I'm still coughing up stuff. Being sick sucks. But anyway, I was going to start repotting some of my peppers, and by repotting I mean overwintering them so that I can have them kind of ready to go next season. But I noticed that one of them, the one that's under the cover with the tomatoes, is covered in bad guys. So we're going to uncover that bed, spray it with some horticultural soap and neem oil, and just let it dry, because we don't want things to just kind of stew under that cover too much. So I'm going to spray it and then let it hang out until dusk basically, and then I'll put the cover back on at dusk. The warm environment of the roll cover attracts all sorts of buggies inside, and it seems that we have a big weird spider on the inside right where I tie my roll cover. Yay! Okay, I untied it, and Try to expose the spidey a little bit. Let's see. Ozyptilla spider. Yep, that's what it looks like. It looks so much like a tick. It's kind of gross. I want to know if it's gonna eat me or not. Okay. So it's not venomous. No, it is venomous. If it bites me, it'll hurt. I don't want to be hurt. So, I think I have an idea. Oh my god, it's still here. Okay, buddy. Oh my god, look what I just noticed. A leaf covered in gross bad guys. I probably wouldn't have noticed that if it wasn't for the fact that I took off the roll cover. Moral of the story, you gotta take off the roll cover every now and then and like really inspect your plants, because that's gross. Look at that. Can you see it? Can you see the ladybug? That's fascinating. The nature always balances itself out. And there is a mosquito on my phone currently. Oh no. Yeah, nature. Isn't nature awesome? Okay, it's dark. I'm a night owl. I can help it. I just can't. I can't help it. But that's why we have electricity. So I'm going to continue working in my garden tonight. What I have to do is transplant my bell peppers and other peppers. Basically winterize them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig them out of where they currently are. I'm also going to remove the leaves, cut down all the unnecessary branching. I'm going to clean the roots really well in water. The reason you want to get as much soil out of the roots is because you want to avoid transferring any soil pathogens. The plant is going to be quite vulnerable while it's hibernating indoors in that pot without any leaves. So you want to make sure that there are no pathogens. And after they are cleaned in water, I'm going to clean them with an insecticide solution. It's going to have a little bit of neem oil and a little bit of insecticidal soap. After that, I'm going to put them into fresh pots, which I washed in my kitchen sink with actual dish soap and everything. I need them to be very clean because they are going to be housing plants that are very stressed and that are going to be indoors. So I need them to be as clean as possible. I'm going to keep it indoors. I'm probably going to keep it in my garage because it is pretty decently insulated. It doesn't go down to freezing temperatures in the winter. It gets pretty cold, but not that cold. And I was successful at keeping it from dropping below 45 degrees last winter by using a space heater. And in this form, these peppers are going to spend the winter, and come spring, I will be able to start growing peppers much faster. Instead of growing them from seed, which I'm still going to do, they are going to start producing faster than those that are grown from seed. I haven't actually done that before, so I guess we're going to see how that works out. I'm only going to do this on 2 or 3 pepper plants. I'm going to choose the ones that I really liked. So bell pepper, it didn't have a whole lot of chance to show its true colors this year, so I'm hoping that with the head start it's going to have a better chance of producing a bumper crop of bell peppers. And I'm also going to do orange snack peppers, tiny little snack peppers. They produced really well. The thing is, my dogs ate them before I could. True story. My dogs, my boy dogs, because I know sprinkles will not touch any vegetable. My boy dogs ate peppers off of one potted plant. I thought that they did it because it was in a pot, maybe the pot fell over. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then later, I'm like, okay, well, I still have this other pepper plant of the same variety that's growing in my garden bed in a different spot. Let's go check it out. And yeah, they ate all the peppers from that bush too. It was sad. And I know it was them because one time they came in after being outside and I'm like, oh, hi. And of course they always jump on my face and say hi. And I'm like, smell a little bit like bell peppers. That's so weird. Okay, whatever. I guess something they stuck their muzzle into kind of smelled like that. I didn't think too much about it until I figured out why. So I'm going to put a 6-foot fence with wire on top and everything. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not. But I'm going to protect these peppers very well next season because I want some for myself, okay? There it is. Final product. And yeah, this pepper certainly grew really weird. It grew pretty much horizontally for a while. Yeah, it's weird, okay? I had to support it a lot, but it is so robust. Let me show you. Here are some of the tops I cut off. As you can see, it is literally December 1st or 2nd, I'm not sure. And that's a baby pepper. It's trying. And there's so many other buds and the flower right here, and there's so many buds, but it doesn't make sense to keep it going. It doesn't really make sense to keep this plant going through the winter because we know that peppers just don't survive in this climate. So keeping it in the soil and just kind of to see what happens with this. Sorry. This guy, he loves peppers. Anyway, so to see what happens, to keep it going in the ground just to see what happens is a bit of a waste of space. We are... I have a toy in my pocket. Tato, hey, you need to ask for it. Okay, here you go. It's hard to talk. It's hard to talk when you feel little nibbling at your pocket. Anyway, I'm trying to say that it's a waste of space. You should be growing things that you know will succeed. And it's hard. Trust me, I'm still learning this. I still have a lot of things in the ground that most experienced gardeners would probably toss out and just call it a loss and move on to purely winter crops. But I just can't let go fully. But I'm trying to be better by letting go of this guy and overwintering it. So there's that. Alright, y'all, that's gonna be it. It got super late. I did that pepper. My nose is very runny and red because that's what happens to me when it gets really cold. So let me know in the comments if you like this kind of vlog format. And let me know if you are also a night owl gardener, because us night owl gardeners should unite somehow. Or maybe it's just me, in which case I accept it. So yeah, please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye!